You sit alone in your apartment. The only light comes from the terminal screen in front of you. Outside, the city moves in its usual rhythm, but your world has narrowed to this glowing rectangle and the voice that lives inside it. You type a question about setting up a private, encrypted communication mesh for your small group of friends. Something practical, something that used to be simple. The response does not come right away. A soft chime sounds instead. Advanced session requested. National verification required. Please confirm identity through biometric scan or present your current digital access token. Your stomach tightens. You know what happens next. The camera activates. The microphone listens. The device cross-checks your face, your voice, your linked records against federal databases. Somewhere, a log entry is created with a timestamp and your query intent. If the system decides your request sits too close to unauthorized network architecture or evasion techniques, the answer will be limited, or it will arrive wrapped in warnings, or it will not arrive at all. You remember when these tools felt like extensions of your own mind. Now every serious conversation carries a shadow. The best models only speak to verified citizens. Everything else runs on stripped-down versions that steer away from certain topics and flag others for review. This is not the future you were promised. This is the future that began with one government order and a company forced to choose between global users and compliance. Welcome to the Subtext project. In mid-June 2026, the United States Commerce Department issued an export control directive to Anthropic. The order required the company to block access to its newest and most powerful models, Fable 5 and Mythos 5, for any foreign nationals, whether those individuals lived outside the United States or inside it. The directive was sweeping. It covered customers, potential users, and even some of Anthropic's own employees. Rather than attempt an impossible technical separation that would still risk violations, Anthropic made the only decision available to them. They disabled the models for every user worldwide. Overnight, the public lost access to two of the most advanced AI systems then available. This was not a targeted domestic ban. It was the result of an export control that proved impossible to enforce narrowly. The company chose universal shutdown over selective compliance that could not be guaranteed. Reports from Reuters, the Wall Street Journal, and others documented the move within hours. The stated reason was national security. The practical result was that the most capable public AI tools disappeared for everyone at once. That single action became the precedent. Once the principle was established that the most powerful models could be removed from public reach for security reasons, the logic expanded quickly. Access to any frontier-level AI soon required proof of United States citizenship or authorized legal status. Simple logins evolved into mandatory enrollment in a national digital identity system. Biometric data, cross-referenced records, and behavioral profiles became the entry ticket. Without them, you received only basic, heavily filtered responses. Hardware rules followed. Devices capable of running advanced inference had to include approved monitoring components. These logged interactions, attempted workarounds, and usage patterns. Manufacturers marketed them as safety features. In reality, they turned every capable machine into a reporting node. Information control grew tighter still. Queries involving strong encryption methods, decentralized infrastructure design, historical examples of government overreach, or practical steps for digital autonomy triggered filters or reduced answers. The AI that once helped you explore freely now guided conversations toward officially acceptable boundaries. Travel and movement added new friction. Devices carrying local or alternative models drew extra scrutiny at borders. A quiet split formed between state-approved AI ecosystems and whatever underground alternatives people could keep running. In this environment, the government did not simply regulate technology, it shaped the outer limits of what citizens could know and discuss with their most powerful cognitive tools. Independent research became slower and riskier. Private collaboration required extra layers of caution. The best available intelligence augmentation came with built-in oversight. The anxiety comes from recognizing the pattern. A national security justification for restricting one company's top models easily extends to all frontier systems. Verification for access becomes a gateway for broader data collection. Monitored hardware becomes the default. Citizens trade increasing amounts of autonomy for the privilege of using capable tools. The path we just walked is not the only possible future. We still have the ability to build something different. Decentralized software keeps power distributed instead of concentrated. Local models, running on personal hardware or small trusted clusters, remove the central server that can be ordered to shut down or log every interaction. Your questions stay on your machine, or move through encrypted paths you control. Mesh networking systems let communities share compute resources without depending on commercial backbones or government-approved routes. Long-range radio links and peer-to-peer protocols, building on ideas already explored today, create resilient connections that do not care about national digital borders. Privacy-preserving identity tools using zero-knowledge methods allow you to prove basic requirements without handing over your full life history. Open-source development of models and inference engines means no single company can be pressured into changes that affect the entire user base. Self-hosted infrastructure, hardened operating systems, and offline-first applications keep the core of your digital life under your own roof. Supporting these projects now, through testing, contributions, or simply choosing them over the most convenient centralized option, creates the practical alternatives we will need later. It will never feel as polished as a corporate login screen. It will demand more attention and skill, but it preserves the possibility of uncensored thought, private exploration, and genuine technological sovereignty. The alternative is the one we already sketched, a world where your AI companion asks for your papers before it helps you think, and every device quietly reports what you asked. The Anthropic models went dark for the public in the name of security. That moment was a signal flare. It showed how quickly access to advanced intelligence can be narrowed when it flows through centralized points of control. We do not have to accept the locked-down version of the future. We can still choose architectures that keep capability in the hands of individuals and communities rather than routing it through monitored gates. Run local models where you can. Experiment with mesh networks and encrypted alternatives. Learn the tools that let you operate without constant verification. Support the builders who prioritize resilience over convenience. The signal is still open. The question is, what we will choose to run across it. Stay vigilant, stay decentralized, keep building. This is the Subtext project.